Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy Kuya P of the ShoPowSho. Before we get to this week's episode of the ShoPowSho, I want y'all to check out this amazing festival that I'll be collaborating with my folks over at the Mixed Asian Media Festival. Here we go right now. Check it out.
In 2017, we launched Hapa Mag, inspired by my blog, Miso Hapa.
For many of us, it has come to represent a space for us to express our mixed racial heritage with Asian or Pacific Islander ancestry.
To be Hapa is to be a part of a diverse and growing community with many perspectives.
In 2021, we made the decision to move to a broader future by renaming ourselves Mixed Asian Media, MAM for short.
In celebration of this re-identification, we present the first Mixed Asian Media Fest, MAM Fest, a glimpse of Mixed Asian and Pacific Islanders in their art forms, including art, film, theater, and dance.
In light of recent events, MAMFest will be an online event. However, we're hopeful that future years will allow us to meet in person and gather in physical space.
And have a creative project? Submit to MAMFest on filmfreeway.com.
Yo, it's the NOC, the Nerds of Color, and we are back with another ShoPowSho. It's your boy, the Babinka boy, the Adobro, the leader of the Holla Holla homies in the center gang of the ShoPowSho. Kuya P, aka Patrick Michael Strange. I'm minus the amazing Ates today, the Diniguan destroyers, because they're out destroying Diniguan. They're having fun. So we had to bring in some friends from our past. We had them on our fourth episode from Lumpia with a Vengeance, Patricio and the whole squad. We're going to bring them on in just a second so we can have some fun. They got the next issue dropping today here at Green Machine Comics. They're going to be doing a signing, having a lot of fun. The film, I think, just dropped last night. They had a show screening there. We're going to get into it, and where you can also catch it besides this weekend if you're not able to head out to Green Machine, just all the recommendations, all the love. So because we love that Lumpia, y'all. And before we love that Lumpia and have fun with the rest of the cast and crew of the comic that put it down with some legends, by the way, that you're gonna see in just a second. We're gonna throw it to the trailer. So here we go. Love that Lumpia, y'all. Here we go. Boom.
Here it is. The trailer premiere of Lumpia 2.
Kamusta kababayan ko? All my sexy panoys and panais.
Welcome to Fogtown, where over 60% of the population is Filipino.
Can you confirm that the restaurant incident is the work of the so-called taquito man?
What? This is the taquito everyone is talking about? It's not a taquito.
It's Lumpia, the Filipino egg roll. The motives of the Lumpia man are still unknown.
Lumpia man knows we're selling out Fogtown High.
What'd I tell you about these kids? Ah! Love that! Lumpia! And love that! Lumpia! And love
Your sniper took down the mayor as planned.
My henchmen are trained to be 100% efficient.
Is that the Everall man?
No, it ain't him.
Go, 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 go! Hey, hey, you can't eat that!
Remember me? You're my hero!
Now's not the time to change the plan.
What plan?
What the?
Please tell me you're a good guy.
It's too Filipino!
It's like soy sauce and salsa getting married.
Armor together and harmony!
Screw your mama's wedding.
Fight the bully! You're all wrong!
It's all because of this damn Lumpia man.
It took this long for me to find you. I'm not about to lose you, baby. You can be sure I love you forever.
No more! Fogtown will remember me! Taquito Boy!
Boom! There you go. Lumpia with a vengeance. I got the whole squad. You see them all on the screen. My man Patricio is back in the house. Lawrence Iriarte. I'm gonna let him introduce because there's as you see, there's a legend. There's a couple legends in this house, but really they're all legends. They're all superstars. We love them from Lumpia with a vengeance. Patricio, what's going on, brother? Kuya.
Oh, Patrick. Hey, thanks for having us back here.
Definitely.
I'm Patricio Ginelsa. I am the writer and director of Lumpia with a Vengeance. Now an award-winning movie.
Yes, brush them shoulders off.
And we had last time we were here promoting the first Lumpia with a Vengeance comic book Prelude, and now we're here promoting the second issue, the Interlude. And so on my jump into my producer here, Lawrence. Go ahead.
Hey. How's it going, P? Good to see you guys again. Really excited, and I'm just so happy to share this with the rest of the team, man. Cool.
Ray. Oh, I should introduce them. So, so that was our producer Lawrence Iriarte, and then this is our producer Ray Cuerdo, and he can talk to you where his credentials. Ray.
Hey guys, this is amazing. I am also one of the producers, and I can't wait. I can't wait for this second comic book to drop. Only because, or mainly because, this is my first time writing a story. So woohoo!
And we have one of the writers here is also the actor playing Bob in Lumpia with a Vengeance, but he also wrote the Bob story. So Varinder, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Varinder Singh. I play Bob in Lumpia with a Vengeance, and I got to write the story for Bob in issue 1, and now I got to write his kind of continue his story in issue 2.
And the artists joining us today, we have returning artist for issue 2, Dante Fernandez, also our associate stunt coordinator. Dante, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Dante Fernandez. Like Patricio said, assistant stunt coordinator, and also a comic book artist. And thanks, QUP, for having me back.
Joining us, though, he's worked with us before from Chicago, Chris Gallevo. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. Chris, introduce yourself, Chris.
Hey, Pat. Hey, everybody. Yeah, my name is Chris Gallevo, and I'm an art director at an advertising agency in Chicago, but I also do a lot of art and freelance design. So met up with Pat like more than 15 years ago for when he was directing a music video out here. And that kind of just kicked off our relationship. Has been mostly online, but you know, I'm really glad he pulled me back in and helping him out for this issue. I've never really done a comic book cover before, but I love to paint, so this is a great new little thing for me. And also doing one of the stories, illustrating one of the stories. That was a great learning experience, and it had a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you guys for having me.
And of course, the legendary Whilce Portacio. I've known Whilce we've known each other, I think now over 15 years now. And Whilce, I do the honor. I mean, I can't really go down your portfolio. So you introduce yourself, Whilce, to those who don't even know who you are.
Yeah, my name is Whilce Portacio, and I'm, as Patricio knows, I'm really glad to be here. Me and Patricio, we share a heart, I think, and goals for the Pinoy community. And whenever he calls, it's not about yes or no. It's about, how high, And so I'm glad to be part of this again in a little way. I've been in comics for 30 plus years, all over the X-Men, Iron Man, Hulk, helped create and start Image Comics, created Bishop, did Wetworks, brought in Grail, another Pinoy. I've done a lot of stuff, but as this whole thing is going on, it's the March for Pinoy Pride. Yeah. And the biggest factor for me is all of us creatives. We got to create the stories to inspire and aspire for our kids, for them to carry the torch. So again, it's just about how high you want me to jump. No problem.
Amen. That's the gospel of Portacio right there.
I love it.
I think that's it, right? I think that's all. I think.
Yeah, you got everybody in, man. Echoing those words from Whilce, and thank you, Patricio, for introducing everybody, man. As you know, ShoPowSho, you guys have been on, man. It's all about celebrating our people, our community, whether any various stage of industry you're in. We want to showcase that and show love, because that's what it's all about, man. We're stronger together than we are apart. And I had to tell you, Patricio, only because it's you and you're bringing this amazing group. I've been turning down quite a bit of interviews lately because I'm insanely busy for API Heritage Month. But because it's you guys and it's because it's an amazing group of talent, man, I had to do this and work hard to get it out, because we got to, man. Our stories need to be told, and you're doing that with Lumpia with a Vengeance. So let's talk about this amazing new issue that we have that is in the Lumpia with a Vengeance universe. It's essentially the Interlude comic now that takes place during Lumpia with a Vengeance, the second film of this franchise. And I'm going to keep on saying franchise because I want more. I want more stories to tell.
I think someone coined it already, and I don't know if we're making it official. Lawrence really likes it, but they're recording it the DFU. The DFU, the Deep Fried Universe.
Yes. Even better. The DFU. Hell yeah.
DFU. It's a lot of pressure because now I got to research more deep fried food out there and see how to leave that.
It opens the door. It opens the door.
Opens the door.
Yes.
I mean, the Interlude was, it's funny, we were just getting through the first issue and just doing a prelude. But in my head, I've always thought that, the Interlude was going to be interesting because in a way, I always was curious of like what was happening behind the scenes, what you didn't see. And if you've seen the film without spoiling it, there's so much going on. There's so many characters and so many subplots. And even when my writers, when we're drafting out even the movie, I remember seeing this wall of all these index cards of like all the possibilities we would go to, and a lot of it didn't make it. And so I think the comic book, and because of the success of the first one, we obviously we got crowdfunded again for the second issue. It gave me another opportunity to kind of revisit the script, and now that we've seen the movie and just kind of massage in terms of like certain storylines, connect certain things that didn't really connect in the movie, certain things that we deleted. There's some deleted scenes that we didn't put in there and put it back in the comic book. And it was really up to the writers. I mean, what characters did they want to write about? Even things I didn't even think about. And so I think as usual, it's not really about just me and what I wanted. It was really to see what our fellow creators, my partners here wanted. Was there a story there that they felt inspired to talk about? And I think that's the only reason. That's the reason why this comic book existed. Not only because it was crowdfunded, but because these creatives here actually they wanted to do it. They were hungry to do it. And if you've seen the final issue, and I again, this only came out in the last week. Everyone put their game on. I mean, their game has been, it's so much better than the first issue, I think. And I'm hoping people really appreciate the work that they all put in.
Definitely, man. And I read it finally today. Thank you for letting me get a chance to look at it so I could be ready for this. And you guys put in the work again. This is a love for the universe and a fleshing out, as you stated, that you couldn't put together all into the film. Really well done. And everybody involved putting their stamp on it was a fun experience to see. Before we continue, though, I want to show a little love to a man who was our Stan Lee behind the first one in Lawrence. Back in February, we heard, as you had told me, Patricio, and everybody, and we saw, because we're all on the socials, is my man, you suffered a stroke, bro. So I just want to thank the universe that you're here. It would have hurt to hear if it went another way, but I'm so thankful. And just seeing also your journey when you came out of that stroke to learn your craft again and get back into what you love was just so inspiring, man. So on behalf of myself and I guess everybody here as well, man, so thankful for you to be here, Lawrence.
Oh, thank you. It just, it could have, like you said, it could have gone totally a different direction. And I don't, Pat and I talked, and he didn't realize that I actually was blind for briefly. I actually drove to the hospital while I was having the stroke, and it was just a matter of seconds before I could have been completely paralyzed and completely lost my eyesight, and it could have been so much worse. And through the grace of God, man, I was able to come through, and I had some really good nurses and doctors who immediately performed procedures that saved my hand. That was the biggest thing, is that I love doing this. I love art. I love this project, and I was afraid I was going to be able to draw, but believe it or not, as I was telling Pat, just let me do this, and I got this going. And I'm actually going to talk to my therapist, and we actually incorporated the comic book into my therapy. And the comic book actually allowed me to get back my drawing skills. And I'm continuing to draw right now, and I'm getting better and closer to where I wanted to be. And but seriously, doing the comic book and doing the cover allowed me to get my comic book and just my art skills in general and back. And I'm very, very thankful and very, very, very proud of the work that came out of this. And I can't wait for everybody to check out and what we actually come together.
I gotta say, the first thing that Lawrence told me, Patrick, he says he wanted 6 pages, and I'm like, 6 carrier pages. Everyone's only getting 4, and I was like, he proved me wrong, though. I mean, that's the kind of determination that Lawrence had. He was very, he was still the same Lawrence, and he was still pushing to get his pages in.
Yeah, hardcore comic. Hey, you were the Stan Lee behind, the first one, man. So how was that? Because you had these circumstances. Building and putting together this second one, did you still kind of maintain a lot of that role, or Patricio, did you take some of that handoff? How was getting this team together and to pass it to everyone else on this? To get
I just asked everyone. Oh yeah, no, I just asked everyone who wanted to return. I mean, that's a lot of people. They all wanted to come back, and we recruited more folks. I mean, Chris here was one of them, and I just Whilce. I always ask him all the time if he has availability. I can't say, like anytime he says yes, I'm like, oh, cool. So it was just a matter of, and then hearing their pitches, like, because obviously you had to go through me to figure out if it would fit in the movie, like would it imagine it. Except Lawrence, whatever Lawrence does is I can't convince him otherwise. I was trying to steer him away, but I mean, it turned out great. Everything great. I'm very pleased with the final product. So I'm not. But yeah, it was like creating new Avengers for the second one. Now that we have this proof of concept for the first one, I think there's a little bit of kind of a hype, I think, with this next one.
And I think Pat actually really helped out because of my communication skills as through the stroke was a little bit slower, but he took over as far as like keeping in touch with the different artists and whatnot. And I kept in touch with a few of the artists, just giving suggestions. But, he was, like he said, it really was a team effort, a labor of love, truly a labor of love. I love doing this. And I'm thankful that Pat gave me this, the 6 pages.
Awesome.
No ads, 6 pages. I was like, all right, no space for ads.
Awesome. So let's talk to some of the other creators, because I know some people got to leave on the Zoom recording right now. Let's throw it to some of the creators that we added to this project. If you can do a lead in for Chris, either Patricio or Lawrence, to Chris's coming on board.
Yeah, no, Chris I've known. I did a Pacific's music video. Pacific was a rap group there in Chicago, and we traveled there, and Chris did an artwork. I always remember what he did for this poster that we did, and so we stay connected. Thank Facebook. I still can keep in touch with a lot of folks I've met throughout the years. But I just pitched it to Chris, and then Chris, you can take it from there.
Yeah, and it was a fun project, and it was really awesome meeting. I remember 15 years ago, being aware of this Filipino hip hop group from Chicago. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, seeing an actual Filipino American director in Pat and doing his thing. And, not only was I got to do this poster for him, but I also got to see the shoot of the video. And it was just mind blowing at the time. I'd never been on set for anything like that before, so that was really cool. And around the same time, I got to see Lumpia, the OG Lumpia, and I was just blown away by how it's like, this is like something I would have done, but he actually did it, and that's awesome, And yeah, I've been a fan. We've been in touch through social media, like you said, since then, and I had seen that they had created a sequel, which I thought was awesome. And I saw the trailers and all that. And so, when he was looking I saw that he was starting to do the comic book, and he had an issue out already. So, he just messaged me out of the blue one day looking for some new artists to hop on board for the second one. And, I almost immediately said, yeah, hell yeah. Just thought it would be a really good opportunity. It's something that I haven't done before. I do paintings and illustrations here and there, but I've always wanted to do comic books, as that's something that we've all kind of grew up on. And, so I had the opportunity and jumped right on it, and it was fun, and definitely had a good experience. And then he asked if I wanted to do a story in there, and jumped on that too. And that was a great learning experience. And, just thought it was really awesome. And then knowing all the other artists that have already participated and are part of this like little lineup of Filipino Americans, it's just like, being a part of it, it warms my heart. I wish I was there. I wish I was there for the premiere, but and the signing, but who knows? Issue 3,
Chicago. We just have it in Chicago. We'll be there for
C2E2, man. Like, get the whole gang together at C2E2.
Oh yeah, C2E2 in December. That'd be awesome. You guys get a booth.
We're there. We're there.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Chris, tell us when and where.
Exactly. Yeah, Chris, man, amazing work, man. Great to see you on the Lumpia team. Patricio, getting Ray, and I know I'm going to brutalize your last name, Ray Suerdo, the iconic producer, working with you.
It's Cuerdo.
Cuerdo, there we go. Sorry, sir.
Cuerdo. Ray, Ray is involved with, again, I've always seen his name in a lot of the Filipino films. Small Voices was one of them back in the day, and then obviously he's now with Ulam, and he did also produced oh my god, what's the documentary, Motherland, Motherland, and then Yellow Rose, of course he produced Yellow Rose. Yes. So getting Ray involved in Lumpia with a Vengeance was always a thing. And then of course when his comic book came out, the first one, he came in as a publisher, and I just kind of joked about it, like, hey, do you have an itch to write something, Ray? Oh no, I think it was you, Ray. He's like, can I write one? You're the one who pitched it to me, Ray. I don't know, you can tell that story better than I can.
Well, growing up, I've always been a comic book nerd, and when Pat, this was all about just marketing the movie. I thought, okay, great way to sell the film is to put together this prelude. But damn, when I saw that first episode, first issue, I'm like, I gotta get in on this. This is the coolest. So I raised my hand, man. I'm like a little kid. Pat, you gotta get me in. So, and Pat's the guy, Pat's the dude. So he mentored me, gave me an idea, a story idea, and I just went with it. And Marisol Hart Tyrone got born.
Heck yeah.
That was awesome.
No, but it's great. It's a great journey, and I hope this just keeps going, and hopefully we can sell this thing, right? At the end of the day, we got to get it out to a wider audience. So that's the whole point.
Yeah, the movie, the comic book's already pre-sold, but yeah, the movie, we're still waiting for distribution. That's the one thing about this is really about, was really just trying to, regardless of what happens to the movie, it's just cool to see this comic book kind of like have it life of its own, because we're all enjoying it.
Definitely. And real quick, man, we have another person that jumped in, Patricio. I don't know if we see him or
I don't know, man. Kylo as a Zoom,
do we see him?
Zoom bomber.
Oh, I don't think his video's on. So if you hear us, I think that's your Chris that was coming on.
Is that you, Kristoffer?
There we go.
Yay!
Figure out that stuff. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, a little late.
No worries. Want to do an introduction, Patricio?
This is Kristoffer Tolentino. I've known him. He's responsible really for jumpstarting the sequel in a way, because when we did the Kickstarter, he created the concept art, the keyframes that was really the only thing we had of Lumpia with Avengers at the time. And so I would say that, a lot visually that was our, and Kristoffer's art, his painting was always amazing. So I've always was, and you can introduce yourself, Kristoffer, what you do beyond an artist.
Well, yeah, I work mostly with digital stuff and ink, and all my art's usually influenced by all the movies I grew up watching, Star Wars and, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Goonies, all that stuff from when I was a kid. So, and
we could start off of why you came, like, where you coming from? I think that's what people, or where you're going, like
oh, yeah, actually, I'm coming from the lab because on my day-to-day basis, I'm a molecular scientist. So,
wow,
I just came from a biochemical genetics lab where I do testing mostly on pediatric patients or geriatric patients for their carnitine levels, to make sure that they have enough energy to do what they need to do. And I also work at another lab where I do a lot of COVID testing, especially during this time. So, but yeah.
Amazing, man. You're a hero. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Just trying to do my part, and then when I'm off the clock, I sit down at the desk at the iPad and paint.
Awesome. Well, welcome, man. Great to meet you here virtually.
Thanks. Good meeting you guys.
Definitely. So Patricio, take us to another contributor on the team that we have here coming back. Let's throw it to Dante, a stuntman, back in doing his art thing.
Hey, first, you mind if I geek out real quick?
Yeah, man.
Hey, Whilce, nice to meet you. I actually met you at WonderCon. You signed a copy of Grail for me, and I was also supposed to do a portfolio review, but I chickened out. Very critical of my work, and so I walked away. So it's really nice.
We'll do it after we sign off.
No, it's just a pleasure to be here with you. So thank you. But yeah, as far as the comic book went, Pat, he let me do 2 stories this time, and I really had to step up my style here. So I changed it up, and I'm very critical. So it's just like, I don't know if I could do 2 stories. So Pat was there with me the whole way. He was just like, yeah, this works, this doesn't. It's just, crazy how I got here, just working stunts on a movie, because stunts is a passion, and then getting my artwork shown on Instagram, Pat just like reaching out to me and like noticing my paintings and stuff like that. And just now being here, sitting with one of the greats and all these other wonderful, talented artists. I don't know, man. This is just a wild ride for me.
Hell yeah. I love
Super.
it. I love it, man. Dante, man. Yeah, just live it, man. This is it. You're meant to be around here, man. That's what's up for that.
Thank you.
Let's also, since we're talking about, kind of playing the background, a man who was in the background and then became a producer. What's up, Varinder? Tell working on this next one, man. Being on the second comic, giving more of the life of Bob.
No, thank you, man. Thank you.
Varinder, what's up, man?
Can I just say, how's it going, man? How's it going? Thank you so much for that amazing art, man. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was like a painting.
Man.
It was amazing. It was so cool.
Good to see.
Nice to finally meet you.
It's good.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
It's good to meet you, man. Like I've been when I was working on those pages, your pictures were all like. My wife was like, "Who's this guy you're painting?" I was like, "He's the character. He's the writer." So it's good to finally meet you, man. Like, wow.
Yo, this is crazy. Cool. They're finally meeting? I thought some of these people already met. That's awesome. There we go.
Keep them separate. I don't want writers and artists to really meet yet. It's like wait till they see the final product. And they can...
cool.
Everyone's story and everyone's like what they do in the careers and their artwork is just so amazing. I mean, in a little bit of a way though, I am an artist myself, a pizza artist. My family owns a pizza place, Mountain Mike's Pizza, so I do decorate pizzas with various toppings and different colors in that way. So I guess we're a little bit, we relate to that. And of course, more than welcome anytime you're in Sacramento, California, come on through to Mountain Mike's Pizza and we'll take care of all you guys. But I once again, talked to Pat and got to, continue the story of Bob. So kind of got to write about what was going on during the movie with Bob. And, with writing, went back and forth with Bob with different ideas, but really I felt like it worked in reverse for me where the art really brought it to life for me. So when I saw the comic, and I know we were like close to a deadline too, that was another thing where it was like, I think I submitted my writing late. I think you yourself also got involved a little bit later with picking up the comic, my story. So it was really scary. Got so scared at the end to where I wasn't even sure if it was going to be in the comic. I reached out to Pat, I was like, "Hey Pat, scared to ask, but is it in there?" And he's like, "Yeah, Varinder, we made the deadline." So that was really cool. Yeah, that we made it. But yeah, awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, I loved it.
Awesome. Good to see you again, Bob Varinder. And amazing that you finally got to meet your artist in Chris, man. Another amazing. We'll now go to one of the. We're all superstars here, but we got a legend in our midst, as we all know. Because we read Uncanny X-Men, huge fan of the artworks. This guy was an idol of mine as well. And so let's throw it to Mr. Whilce Portacio. How do you you said earlier you got involved with knowing Patricio for so long, man. What was it like throwing down an interior and how this particular involvement happened? When I was talking to Patricio, when this comic was coming together, this also happened during the time of the Atlanta shootings. And as y'all know, within our community, there was a lot of Asian violence and still occurring right now. Sad to say, to our women and our elders. And from what I understand, talking to Pat was you, Whilce, wanted to do something in regards to stop Asian hate. Can you talk about getting involved and then putting that piece into this comic?
Well, me and Patricia through the years, we've always been talking about trying to figure out things to work together on. And it's just interesting that the times are kind of like pushing the way. And as a little bit of a dive into successful superheroes, they are the sign of the times. Batman was, there was a lot of corruption, in early life America. So we needed a hero that crossed the line. Superheroes, we were, experiencing the, let's say old immigrants, battling with new immigrants. And so that's why, I don't know, a lot of people know this, Superman, that's why he's an alien. He's the ultimate immigrant, And so Patricio has built with Lumpia something really good. As the producers know here, one of the signs of a great screenplay and also world, and everything is really about the world building. And everybody here knows that one of the tests is if you pull the characters out of there and you put other characters in, does it still work? If it doesn't, if those characters are throwaway and you can put other characters in there in those same roles and it still works, then you haven't found the right character. And one of the testaments to this is, Patricio has built such a world that it could only be Kuya. And it could only be Lumpia, it has to be that. And for my big macro of pushing Pinoy IP, one of my caveats is it's got to be Pinoy. And that's the world that Patricio has built. So to get directly to your question, it's no problem, because Patricio has built such a solid world that it's easy to brainstorm and try to figure out where can I maybe fit in. What are, like what you said earlier, what are the backstories to everybody else? I mean, you got that frame of this great world that, again, is Pinoy. That is my challenge to all creatives out there that are Pinoy. Putting your fist up and saying Pinoy pride is one thing, but you got to look deep. You got to look deep inside of yourself and say, what is Pinoy? Who is Pinoy? I know in this world, defining things is a big thing, but if the world is going to be able to know who we are and differentiate us from other people, they have to know who we are, and we have to dig down deep and try to figure out who we are. I'm a Balikbayan like everybody here. I've lived in the United States for 55 years, but in my late 30s, I started making that trek to find my roots. Because, come on, let's all be honest. We grew up here and we figure out the system. That's Pinoy. We know how to figure it out. We know how to work America. We know how to bob and weave. But that's all American. The other side of us is, what is Pinoy? Do you understand what the word gimmick means? Do you understand what lusot means? Do you know the deep meaning of pakikisama? And that a kuya is not just a big brother by age. He's there. He's supposed to take you by the bootstraps and guard you, protect you, and see you through life. And as all of us know, as Americans, Balikbayan Americans, Filipino Americans, we get bits and pieces of that. But I challenge all of us to dig deeper and find out who we really are. And that's one thing I really love about Lumpia. Patricio has worked that tightrope of creators where you don't want to preach, because especially this audience, they don't want you to preach. They want to try to figure it out. So you got to give them enough information that they see and feel it and they figure it out for themselves. And so in this movie, all of our facets, the old school, the new school, what I call the kababayans, what I call the balikbayans, what I call the wannabes, they're all there. But Patricio doesn't preach with those characters. He just shows you those characters and let you go there. And then again, that's a sign of a well-built world, that can take our kids into Filipino-ness. Because I promise you, everybody that takes that journey that I already started in the 30s and am still on, you take that and you're going to find sides of yourself that you didn't think was anything. And then you're going to find it's Pinoy. And then you're going to find, like my kid, when he was 15, he went back to the Philippines for the first time. His first reaction was, hey, I'm taller than some people. And everybody looks just like me. Wow. As far as we've all gone here, all immigrants have gone here in the US, just to be slightly serious, we all know a lot of people look at us as second class, as the other, no matter how American we get, but getting off that plane in the Philippines, even the chaos, even the barrage of heat and noise and sound, that's your first reaction after that. Wow, we're the majority. Wow, this is a country built for us. And let me taste that for a little while. And Patricio's Lumpia world is the gateway. That's it. So me and Patricio talking about trying to figure out another like hero venue. You know, I kind of quietly said, you know, no, I just want to do something in your world because you've already got it built there. It's already built. Why rebuild it? And so we just quickly came up with something where we could sneak in some other superheroes. But again, with all my advocacy, you know, Patricia and I agreed they're going to be there, but they're going to be there to support because they think we're cool, because they think we're worth it. But it's the problem we're going to solve. And that's my challenge to all creators out there. We got to solve our own problems. Got to get past complaining. That's easy. Anybody can do that. Look at the internet. But stepping up to solve the problems, that's where all the real heroes are. Like Chris, that's all. We're all the real heroes. You got to step up. You got to step up and not even think about it. You got to just say, these are my skills, however small, and contribute. And that leads and leads and leads and leads to something else, like everybody's saying here. You know, taking that first step, opening, getting through that door and going there. And Patricio, his Lumpia world is the gateway. It's the drug for all of us.
No. Amazing. The blood of Lapu Lapu inside my veins are pumping right now because I'm so like,
yes.
Like, man, let's go. My Pinoy pride is beaming. I love that. Thank you, Whilce, man. That's just so great. What was Lawrence and Patricio, some of the hard aspects? I'm sure you learned a lot from doing it the first go round. Now, were things a little bit easier this go round? I know with Lawrence, you know, having to take a step back because, you know, obviously you had your stroke and everything. What was the difference between dropping the first book and then this second book, or were just things a lot easier this go round?
I mean, the easier part were there were templates already set up. So, you know, I just have to change the text for some of them. But in terms of story, I mean, the hardest part is always, I would say the challenge was because there were so many ideas. I think a lot of creatives thought can I really fit all of this? And it was really trying to talk to every writer and trying to rework and making sure that it all kind of and you know, Lawrence was kind of sidelined a bit. So it was really, I had to kind of do a lot of the what's the word? I don't know, Lawrence, you know, like really guiding the art and trying to get that. It's a different directing, you know. I'm not used to that.
It's like storytelling. He took more the art direction. The last issue I was able to talk to Dante and just like give him little hints of like, you know, hey, you know, what would beef up your art here is like, hey, take advantage of this. You could add more characters in the background doing this and that. You know, drop this hand over here, let's flip it over on this side. And so there was a lot of that going on. And this time I took a back seat, you know, and, you know, they all did great. You know, I was loving all the art coming in with the old team, and then the new team. It's just like, wow, you know, Chris and man, you guys just kicked ass, man. I mean, you guys really kicked ass, even in storytelling. But like what Pat said on my part, what made it easier is that I had created the template already for the comic book for lettering. So I told Pat, there better be no misspells, because I'm just cutting and pasting and I'm dropping the text in. I am not typing anything. And I'm just, as far as like doing the lettering was concerned, I was able to create a template that allowed me to work really quickly and really fast. So if Pat needed an adjustment, you know, need any manipulation, it was there. I mean, we were literally down to the wire as art was being redone, recolored, up just to the very night, just hours before printing. We were able to make those changes up to the very, very, very last hour. But it was easier because we had this past experience in doing it, and the interesting stories that Pat was checking. Are you sure you want to do 6 pages? Are you how about 1 page? How about just a poster? How about 4? How about 2?
I didn't want to be responsible for, like, I think it would have hurt me more if something happened to Lawrence and, it's because he had to do an extra page.
But I was more than happy to do it because, just the interlude is great, because what the great thing about it is that we have a script that some people have not seen, and there's a lot of things that we cut out from the movie that we shot, and I saw it as the opportunity to go, this is a $30,000 scene, Dante. This is all the stunt work that we can't do now. And occasionally I would show Dante, here's the stunt work that we were going to do here. And
yeah, I totally can't wait. I totally can't wait to do them stunts. So we're gonna make them.
We have all these in the story I happen to do, I put like 30 extras, 30 fighting 30 different fighters, and that we could have definitely not done in the movie, but it was fun. It was we were able to go faster, and I think our artists were more seasoned, and with our talent that that we have here in front of us, guys, you guys are just kicking butt on every level, and I was just eating up with Varinder's story. It was just, I couldn't believe just the colors and just everything that just came together. You guys just amazing. We just had a great team, and very, very, very thankful to be part of it and to see it all come together. So, yeah, it was great.
I mean, this is also the first time that Ray and Chris have met each other, because Chris illustrated Ray's story.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
I didn't even realize, Ray, that you had written it until you mentioned the title, Marisol and Tyrone, and I'm like, oh my god! I've been drawing your words. I've been making into visuals your thoughts, and it was a great experience. I love. Oh, and I think you're on mute, but love that you're very collaborative. Also, that I would come up with some different ideas for visuals, and you and Pat were totally with being flexible and going along with it. And I think we all came up with some great, really funny panels. Like, I think this is just the story you wrote is just hilarious in the way that it's has multiple layers of storytelling in it. I think in 4 pages, I think is great.
It's great that.
And I love it that I think you said this is also your first time, right? So we're both first timers.
Yeah. Definitely drawing from, just growing up reading comics and being inspired by it, and kind of just diving right in without any,
What's great is that you can literally read this comic book, Ray and Chris, that these scenes can actually be in the movie. This is like the unseen stuff. I mean, this is like the extended cut, by having this comic book. So for those out there who get a chance to see the film and, you get the comic book, it literally is extending the movie to just giving it a lot more flavor involved, and just expanding all the scenes and all the characters. I just really, really, really loved what you guys did. It's both writers and artists that just really kick butt. I'm really, really proud of this book.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely. It's fan service. It's complimentary to everything. It helps enhance the film even more. So yes, if you haven't copped it yet, I don't know is it too late, Patricio? Will there be some additional copies available at all?
The variants are very limited, but yeah, no, we'll always have the comic book is always going to be available. Just go to lumpiamovie.com.
There we go.
Yeah, and then then it'll also be available in Comixology if you're a digital person, All
right, and I'm gonna put the links in the description below so y'all can cop it if you haven't gotten it yet. You need to get it, because so as we've talked about that there was the prelude with the first comic, and now we've discussed the interlude. What I would like to talk about now, because maybe just because for my own reasons, because I had a story that I pitched to Patricio a little bit that I want to do, because I want to get into this Lumpia with Avengers universe, and I want to ask everyone here as well. So you had to kind of do stories tied to the second film. what would you like to see or do if we continue on with this deep fried universe, which I love that now. So I'm going to use that. What do you want to do in the DFU going forward? Like, what other stories do you all individually want to tell after this experience? And as Whilce, our legend, said, man, you know, he's all about it. He's about this universe. So let's give these stories, man. I know I have some to tell. I was just thinking this morning, Lumpia Man, Fear the Aswang. Like, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I want to cross those universe going on. My pitch to Patricio has a ShoPowSho contingent on there with Lumpia Man. There's a lot of fun stuff. So I would love to hear from everybody else. And Patricio, if you bless it, going down the road. And you, Lawrence, what do you want to do as well? You know, if I don't know if you have a 3 in the film series that you're doing, or if you're going to want to tie the comic to that, or if you want to expand it out a little bit and let people tell their own stories within the universe.
I mean, obviously we are planning a 3rd one. I think it's going to be a postlude. I think I can announce that. And we're going to probably try to crowdfund that this summer, hopefully for our fall festival premiere. But the postlude, the tricky part of this is how do you do these comic books without spoiling the actual movie? We did it pretty well with this interlude. We didn't spoil too much of the movie in it. But the postlude will probably happen like right after the film ended. What happens to the characters? So that's in terms of Lumpia the Vengeance. That's what we have planned. And look, the dirty secret is that we don't. It's hard for me to say no to anyone. If anyone wants to get involved, I mean, I'm telling. I mean, maybe I should have really opened that out there. All of a sudden, we get bombarded with a lot of requests. But it's people are very enthusiastic and they have a great idea. We will always hear them out. I mean, that's the only reason why I've always kept in touch with all these talented creators. It's that's what fuels us, right? It's just that passion to tell more of our stories.
I'd say, I was telling Pat, this is, if it's fun and funny and fantastic, then put in the DFU, man. It's just, I mean, this is everything that, it's like what Whilce was saying, is that Pat has created a universe, a world, which basically anything can happen. The fantastic happens because we have a superhero who uses Lumpia as a weapon and does it very well, and when you see the film, you believe, there's that old saying, you could believe a man can fly. Well, you can believe a man can use Lumpia as a weapon, and fight crime. And with that alone, that premise, it just opens so much, and just all you have to do is just believe in the rules and go with it, and just dream big. That's why I love doing the 2nd issue, just because of, it just happened to be in the story that I did, is just having the 30 different fighters. I'm not going to spoil it, but the type of fighters and the type of weapons they wound up using, to fight our characters is, I've always wanted to try it, and it's something I couldn't do in a live action film. So, this universe provides that. So if you have that story, man, ShoPow along the way, man, just anything goes. Just if it's fun, fantastic, and it's all made for the Friday universe.
Awesome. So cool. We're getting a postlude prelude that you said, Patricio. We won't go too much into that because we want to keep that all hush hush, and we don't. I'm sure you probably still haven't fully realized that yet either. But if we can imagine for right now, and with the creators that are involved in this right now, because, again, they had to create and tailor to what happened with the Lumpia with a Vengeance film. If we could tell other stories within the Deep Fried universe, I would just love to just kind of maybe see what the thoughts are from some of the creators that are on the call right now. So like for Ray and Chris that work together on a story, if you weren't constrained by keeping your story within Lumpia with a Vengeance, the 2nd film, what would you have liked to have done with Lumpia Man or some of the other characters, Ray and or Chris, since y'all kind of work together on that comic?
Let Ray lead.
Well, I love the love story, obviously, of Marisol and Tyrone, and I think there's room for that in the postlude. I could totally expand that storyline. and it would. I think it would get funnier too, because Tyrone is just a crazy dude.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like I really enjoyed telling Tyrone's story, and I think he could potentially really have his own spin-off story. He could even have his own movie. I would love to see something along the lines of him going to the Philippines for the first time and just the culture shock, you know, him being very rooted in American and Western culture. For whatever reason, maybe the results of what happened to him in the movie drives him to doing that, you know, without spoiling anything. But I think he has a lot of story to tell. I think he has a great arc because of how he started in the first movie. And you kind of see that. And I think it would be great. You know, whether I'm involved or not, I just think he has the potential to really be a character that'd be really great to watch. And I think a lot of Filipino Americans, especially second generations, can see themselves in his experience, through his experiences.
I love it.
Yeah, he's totally a generational Phil-Am.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Let's get one of our other teams in here. Who else did we have that was a team? Was it Chris and
Kristoffer and Varinder. There we go.
Yeah. Well, what would you two do, Chris and Varinder?
Well, you know, one idea I kind of had, and I haven't thrown this out to anyone yet, but what, like, to see the other Kuyas like across the world, right? Like, you know, Filipino Kuya, right? In India, it's Baji. You know, maybe there's like a British one, and like maybe they all train at this one island, and you know, like the British one throws his fish and chips or something. You know, the Irish one's throwing his fried potatoes or something. I don't know. And you know, the German one's got the big fried beer. I don't know, something like that. But you know, so that was an idea for me. Like, where did Kuya come from? Like, is there an island where all the Kuyas or the Pajis or the, you know, the big brothers are at where they train? So that was like a kind of an idea that I kind of had.
We need to shoot that, Pat.
That's an awesome idea.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, for me, I would love to explore where the Kuyas come from. That's an amazing idea. But when I worked on this comic book, Patricio sent me a link to the original one, and I saw all the bad guys, the rogues gallery that was also, you know, featured. And so while I was working on this, I was like really excited of thinking of, you know, what other villains can we incorporate? And then and I know, like, you know, we as a Filipino, you know, we have all these like funny jokes, and so I kind of wanted to play on a villain, and I was going to talk to Patricio about this, but I guess this is not, you know, the time is now. But I wanted to play on a villain, like kind of like spoofing Dr. Octopus, but calling him Dr. Opposite because of the, you know, we have that joke of, you know, this is Pusit, like the squid, and then this is Opposite. So I wanted to kind of play on that character of, you know, of a villain named Dr. Opposite, and then have henchman Tokwat Baboy, kind of like a Bebop Rocksteady kind of henchman, and kind of do that, you know. And you know, I was kind of thinking about the whole kind of Sinister Six thing. So it's like, you know, Maasim na Anim or something like that, or, you know, Tapsilog. I don't know. Just all these things were in my head, and I wanted to talk to Patricio about it, but then I was like, yo, let's just, you know what? Let's just get these pages done. Let's accomplish what we got in front of us. And then maybe down the line we can talk about, you know, Dr. Opposite. But yeah, it was like one of the things that I was like so excited to like kind of explore is a rogues gallery.
Hell
so maybe
yeah.
Oh, that's
nice.
I love it.
Dante, that's hard to
I'll do my best. But yeah, I was playing around with a few sketches while I was doing this comic. You know, keeping it Filipino. We all know who the Barrel Man is.
Yes.
So I was thinking like a Barrel family crossed with the Incredibles and Voltron.
Nice.
You know, they like build barrels like Voltron somehow, and there's like they have bunch of Filipino weapons inside the barrel, instead of, you know, showing your TT or whatever. You know? So try that kind of stuff, you know.
That's awesome.
That's what I had.
Oh my God, this is glorious. I love it.
That's awesome.
I mean, do we even go to Whilce?
I know.
That's a lot of pressure.
Whilce, what would you like to do if you have you're the big guy, man. You're a legend, man. If you have time, if you could, what would you want to, you know, add to the story?
Well, in story sessions, one of the biggest, not crutches, but things to build off of is, you know, you take what's existing and already works, right? And you build on that. So you go from the micro to the macro. So since the world is already well built out and Kuya is well established, and like I said earlier, he totally fits the story in the world, I say, let's find out that Lumpia 1 and 2 is the micro world, and that there's a bigger macro world, that him defending Monmon and other people is like what he just does in his free time. He just does it because he's just got a big heart. And what he's actually doing is he's fighting the hordes of Aswang and Duende and Tikpalang and Cantantos that come over here. And the way you get them to come over here is we take a little bit of our history, because story is about story is about story. What stories do we know? Well, a lot of Pinoys know that story about the Balikbayan coming over, maybe because of the Marcos years, or maybe because of poverty, the OFWs and stuff. So what if, like, all of our Swangs and Encantos and stuff were like being hunted down by the Marcos regime, and so they came to the U.S. and Kuya finds out they're here, and he now has a bigger picture, and he's got to now recruit, you know, the Justice League.
Oh,
nice.
Yes.
Now we get into myths and everything. We get the pure Filipino, but it's all wrapped around this thing that anybody around the world, this story that anybody around the world could jump into. But it's just purely fair. And that's seriously, that's one of the things that's really happening. That's one of the underlying story things of why a Parasite works, why in the day Seven Samurai work. You take a universal story that anybody in the world can understand, and just as long as you keep that in the surface of the plot, yeah, I know the guy's daughter got raped, so he's going to go for justice, but justice is going to block him, so he's not going to go Batman on everybody. Everybody understands that surface plot. You keep that, you do that, and then you can do whatever fuck you want. That's purely Pinoy, purely anything. We can get into anything you want underneath that, just as long as you have that surface plot going on. And Patricio's now built that. So now let's go further. Let's show that, Clint Eastwood yelling grandpa, uncle that we all have, Tito that we all have, that's yelling at everybody. He's pissed off at the world. Let's show why he's pissed off.
Yeah.
Yes.
That, the Aswangs are here and taking over and nobody's listening to him.
Hell yeah.
And then he finds Kuya and Kuya believes him. And it opens up into that world. Again, just take everything we got. It's all there now. And now we can just dive deeper and deeper and deeper and be really Pinoy. And hey, thanks, guys. I love all these stories. I love how you guys are connected. And that's the best thing that in the second phase, now that Patricio has built this, now we go to rebranding. We take all those stereotypes that everybody goes, everybody around the world thinks they know of us, but they don't know. We take that and we show why they feel that way. And then we tell them what the real story is. And that's the Pinoy story. That's the OFW story. Everywhere I go, there are OFWs. And for instance, like in Dubai, when an Emirati meets, an OFW, and he's there on a construction visa, but he actually has a degree, a graduate's degree in business, they go, hey, you want to manage my company? So let's take that to the world. We look like this, and I don't want to say it because we all don't like it, but then show the world what we really are. And that's very Pinoy, because here's a difference with superheroes, American superheroes and Pinoy superheroes that I've been slowly figuring out. If we had a Pinoy guy that all of a sudden became Superman, if you look real close at American superhero framework and stereotype, once you become the guy, you get put on a pedestal, and all of a sudden you have no relatives, you have no friends, because you're so busy being the guy, the idol. Remember, Superman had a dog. What the fuck happened to his dog? So imagine a Pinoy guy becoming Superman. There's no way he could forget his mom. There's no way he could forget his friends. There's no way. We're all about connections. That's our strength. That's the immigrant strength all over, right, Varinder? Everybody, we have connections. That's what gets us through pandemics and shit, because we know we can rely on other people. We know we can get information no matter how bad or how variants, but it's at least information to maybe get us through because of our big, big family world. And we all, do that thing, right? Any one of you guys can come and see my kids, and, for 4 times, 5th time, they're calling you Tito. And after that, they're calling you Kuya. That's just a natural thing with us immigrants, man. And we got to build on that. We got to show the world that it's not just words, that it means shit, And again, Patricio has built the doorway, the gateway, the foundation. And it's just up to all of us. I'm talking to you producers out there. They get the money. You get all these stories out there done. Because it's the start. It's a start, and they're very, very, very little other worlds built already for that. Because as a lot of producers know, a lot of, and I don't want to name any names, but, we got to be honest. There are a lot of Pinoy worlds that have been built on showing how American we are, showing that, we're like everybody else. But come on, man. When you say Japanese today, they go manga, anime, sushi. When you say Korean, they go pop idol, K-drama, So why do anything else? We got to be who we are, because this is a great time right now. The world wants to know.
Yes.
They want to know what else is out there. What's 2.0 in heroes? What's 2.0 in horror, in other stories, So it's pulling away now from the American European template and going into what else is new, what else is out there. The world wants to expand. That's what this whole diversity inclusion stuff is all about, really. And so we got to dive deep into it, and throw in those stories. But again, listen to June Boone, listen to Wes Anderson, listen to who's the guy that did Us?
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, Jordan Peele. He's a great example of what we can do. He gives you such a great defined story to follow that his characters can say whatever the shit they want about anybody else. And say the real feelings, and say what the real experiences are, because you give the audience that steady thing that they can first digest. And that's how you get deeper in stuff. You give them something easy, give them some candy first, and then you give them the real shit.
Yes.
And Lumpia is the candy. So let's go, guys. Throw the shit out there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Whilce. Lawrence and Patricio, man. Let's go with you, Lawrence, and we'll let Patricio round it out. Just finishing words on this. Lumpia with a Vengeance, Interlude, and just this experience and moving forward with the Lumpia Deep Fried Universe, DFU.
DFU, yes. This just come on in, man. That's all I could say is for those who have never really picked up the book before, pick it up now. See that all the variety of stories that we have, just like Whilce is saying, we take a turn with just this crazy universe, and it's not so crazy anymore. I shouldn't call it crazy. It's just like, here are the rules of our universe, and anything can happen and anything goes. And as Whilce is saying, is that we can go a lot further and using all the things that are part of our heritage and bring it up forward and introducing it in such a fun way and exciting way. And not just all the basics things, but, you know, things that are relative to us and things that are important to us as family members, as individuals, and that we carry on, you know, that we have in our culture without even having preaching. It's part of our storyline, and you'll see it more and more. I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to doing the 3rd issue. Anything goes for me when it comes to this book, and I'm sure all our artists right here are willing to give it a shot and take it up to another level, and, you know, take it up to another level in writing and just to introduce more and more as we get to the opportunity to share our movie, number one, and share the universe that we built around that movie, and to let people know that there's so many possibilities in our storytelling and our culture that many people will relate to, as well as can actually expand on. You know, what an opportunity to actually explore artistically and the fantastic in a different way. So
awesome.
You know, I mean, we call ourselves independent, but really we're really dependent on our backers, our supporters. Like a lot of this, the movie wouldn't have existed without our crowdfunders and our backers. This comic book would have been existed, issue 1 and 2 now, because of the support that we've gotten. So, you know, a lot of it, we willed this in existence in a way, thanks to our supporters. And I think it's very important for folks out there, you know, who are never heard of us and are hearing about us looking for the first time, is that, you know, a lot of it is supporting each other and surrounding yourself with like-minded people who believe in your vision and empower us to do what we do best. And, you know, I think that's the formula that's always worked for us, even from the movie, making the movie into this comic book, is that we're slowly recruiting folks. And, I thank you, Kristoffer and Chris, you know, for coming on board. It just starts with, hey, are you guys interested? And if they're hungry, they have the appetite to do something. And I'm very proud of them, because everyone, even the veterans who came back for this issue, you see that the immense work they did, and they're challenging themselves as well. So just by you guys picking up a comic book first, even a little $5, the digital copy, it goes a long ways in terms of us keeping this going, and hopefully inspire other folks to kind of, you know, to do the same thing, and again, build upon this world, and just be confident in your voice, and hopefully, just be supportive of being who you are.
Hell yeah, man. This has been another amazing conversation, Patricio, and everybody here. I can't thank you enough. You came on board with my 4th episode to talk about the first comic, and as you know, ShoPowSho was created like what you're doing to help, you know, build up our community and give a voice, and that's why I do ShoPowSho. And I'd also want to extend the invitation out to everyone here today. I've had Justin since the last episode. We're trying to get Lawrence on, and Dante, we talked, and Patricio, you know, I've talked, but everybody here, Whilce, Ray, Chris, Varinder, would love to have you all on to tell your individual stories as well, because this is how we get our stories out there, and inspire everyone out there as well, and that we can do it. And that's why I do ShoPowSho. So salamat po for all y'all coming back and sharing about Lumpia with a vengeance. So I would love to invite you all again to tell your individual stories, and then hopefully we can all come back together again for the postlude, prelude, and then the expanded universe. Because I'm telling you, I got some stories for the DFU expanded.
Yes.
I want Lumpia Man Fear the Aswang and everything else, and let's make it happen. But before we go, one last thing, if everybody could share how our audience can reach out to you all individually, we'll just pass it around. Just throw out your socials. I'll have it in the description below as well. But for our audio listeners, so they can reach out to some of the amazing creators and get some follows going on. I'll throw it to Dante out the gate, since you're the first one on my screen, and we'll pass it along.
Thank you. You can find my art page at Mashface38 or my stunt page at Dante.stunts on Instagram.
Pass it to the next person, Dante.
Lawrence.
You can catch me on Instagram, Lawrence John Iriarte, my full name, on both Instagram and Facebook. And I do artwork whenever people ask for it. And just share what you like to do, man. Share what you like to do.
Next person, Lawrence, pass it to somebody else.
Pass it on to Chris Gabriel. Chris G.
Chris G. Yeah. Chris Gallevo. You can find my website at chrisgallevo.art, CHRISGALLEVO.art. And I'm on Instagram at chrisgallevo.art as well. Thanks. Pass it over to the other Chris.
Hey guys, Kristoffer Tolentino here. You can find my art at Instagram at _ink_bender, the ink bender. And you can also find more of my work at the inkbendershop.bigcartel.com. So come see my stuff. Thank you. And passing it over to the legend himself, Whilce Portacio. Sorry.
Hi, yeah, I'm on a lot of the, the socials, as Whilce Portacio, Instagram and Facebook and such. And for inquiries, you could inquire at portaciowhilce@gmail.com.
And
Varinder.
Varinder, are you there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely.
Hey, Varinder.
Sacramento's got a bad connection.
Oh, we've lost Varinder. Well, we still see you there, Varinder. If you're there, come back to us.
Well, Varinder doesn't have a social media presence, so that was easy.
Oh, there you go. Okay. There he is. Varinder, you don't exist on the socials?
Man, so believe it or not, I just literally recreated one as soon as we did the show. But so I'm not really on the socials. However, if you want to reach out to me, I got an IG that I just made, varjust916. I guess my official website would have to be mountainmikespizza.com, where you can see my artwork of pizzas. We can deliver online. So that's where you can do that. Otherwise, just go to lumpiamovie.com and
awesome. I think we lost Vern again. You froze. We'll throw it to another legend as well. Ray, been a fan of your work for a long time. Thank you for everything you've done. Tell everybody how they can reach out to you.
You can reach me on Gmail. It's my name, Ray Cuerdo Jr. @gmail.com. Or I'm on socials at Ray Cuerdo, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
Awesome. Gentlemen, this again has been a pleasure. As I said, I'd love to have y'all back to tell your stories. I'd love to have you all back together for the next Lumpia deep fried universe tale that we're going to tell. Yes. This was a lot of fun. Salamat po, Patricio. Thank you for coming back, man, and showing love and bringing this amazing group of legends together and superstars. We got to support each other. This is how we succeed, and we keep it moving, man. I love it. Thank y'all. Salamat po, y'all.
Thank you, Kuya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.